Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a consultation that I had with a potential client. I don't think that they're going to be a client after I asked these specific questions about why they're having trouble generating leads for their business. Now, just to be upfront with you is that we don't work with everyone that comes to us. There's certain questions that I'll ask, and the reason why is because there could be a problem with the company itself. So no matter how many leads you help them generate, they don't have a system in place to be able to convert those leads. They're, in a way, just flying in the wind as a company. So I asked some specific questions. So I'll ask, I'll go over those questions as if, you're a client or a potential client that I'm talking to on the phone or coming into my office. And then I'm going to demonstrate on the whiteboard here the reasons why I believe that what I told them, which I gave them some advice, is that this is very important in today's market, that you got to have some stuff like this in place because people are just too dang busy with their lives. And if you're not in front of them in multiple ways, your business is going to struggle. So the first thing I asked, I said, well, how are you getting customers right now? Right away, a red flag came up because they said, well, we were getting forms from people on Facebook and they wasn't converting. And I was like, whoa, okay. So when I hear that, I already know that there's a breakdown with what they have in place for their follow-up, like already, but I just kept listening. And then later in the conversation, when I asked, well, how many sales did you get from the forums? And he said, well, we got, hundreds of sales. I don't remember the exact number. We were doing really well. So then I was like, well, you just told me that you were getting them from the forum and that didn't work. And now you're saying they were working for the forum. So then I said, well, why don't you just go back to doing that? Then the person said, well, our account got shut down because we must have violated something. So there's another red flag because that means that they maybe were doing something. And for our company, we may not want to get involved with a company that has those issues. Not to say that every issue is legitimate from the platforms when they flag someone, but we would want to check to see what were the reasons that they flagged, because you may not notice or not, these platforms are coming behind our back and they're asking people who did business with us and getting their opinion about their experience with doing business with us. That is exactly what they're doing. Could you imagine if you were running an ad on TV or radio, and then the radio people actually found out who was buying from them and they called them up and said, tell us your experience? That kind of like an invasion of privacy. I don't know. So we would want to find out what's going on with that. Then the conversation flipped to, we want to just get people to call us, and we think that those would be better if people were just calling us. And I was like, well, how are you right now getting people to call you? If you believe that, give me some information to tell me how you're doing that, and then tell me why aren't you doing more of that? And there was no answer on that. And I could tell you the reason why there's no answer on it. For the specific industry that this individual is in, it has been banned from Google. From Google's advertising platform. Most people utilize Google for pay-per-call only campaigns, where you'll just run an ad and people click it and it's automatically going to push the call from their phone. And for this specific vertical, not to say that the vertical deserved it, it's just that the platforms make their own rules. And I was like, well, you're not going to be able to utilize that program with Google. So how are you getting it? And then he admitted, hey, we're not getting any calls. So already the whole conversation by me asking those questions made it to where I don't believe that we would be working with this company, not because they could, maybe not a good company. And I asked for the website and they didn't send that either. But because they don't have everything in order. It is very important to get things in order to be able to run your business. Like, if you don't have certain things in place, it doesn't matter who you go to, you're not ready to accept that success. Like, some people think, when I say that, some people think that like, how can you say someone is not ready to accept success? I've been in a situation where I was not able to accept success. So let me define what I believe that means. That means that if you have a business, let's just say you set up a business. Let's just say you have a store. Let's just say you have a store. This is your store. And let's just say it's an online store. Let's move it up. Let's not even be like it's a store on like a storefront. So this is your store. This is your website. And then you have, let's just say, 500 people in one day wanted to place orders. So now you have like, this is a dream come true for a lot of people. 500 orders in one day. So now this is what I mean by you're not ready for success. If you had 500 orders, and unless it's a digital product that it just automatically flips over to them, but let's just even say that it is a digital product that you're sending to them, do you have your payment system in place? Do you have that in place? I've actually had website people, business owners come to me with their website. They had a products all listed on there, and they have no payment system in place. None, zero. They have no shipping and handling mechanism in place. They don't have this stuff in place. Also, so that means if they don't have a payment system in place, then the merchant account is not in place. And let me tell you something that happens. This is something that happened to me. When you go to get a merchant account and you get approved and you do all your stuff, if you get what I call a top tier merchant account where you're not going to be paying these exorbitant fees, then like if you go to PayPal and some of those, you're going to be paying a lot higher than what you would pay with other companies. But they do that so it can make it easier for people. But you're going to need to know your profit margin on those 500 orders. You could end up selling 500 products and not making any money if you don't understand what's going on with your merchant account. Also, with your merchant account, if you open up a merchant account and then the next day you had 500 orders, do you know that they would actually put a reserve on your account because they don't want to have any problems with chargebacks? So are you prepared to send out 500 orders and then they're going to have a reserve on your account? As a matter of fact, with some of the industries that are out there, depending on which one you're in, your merchant account provider will make you have a reserve account. And just so you understand what a reserve account is, that's where they're going to make the money sit in an account. And then 6 months later, you're going to start getting the payments from that 6 month. And then it's going to just keep rolling over on your payment cycles. That's how they're going to pay that money back to you. But they're going to also continue a certain reserve also, and then they'll start releasing that. So do you even have this stuff in order to be able to take care of everything on your with 500 orders that came in? We have people that don't even have that amount of that amount of stuff in place that come to us, and we're like, hey, you're not even ready to accept customers yet. You need to get all of this information taken care of. So now let's move forward to what I believe businesses at minimum should have in place if you got all of your other stuff taken care of. You got the website taken care of. You got your storefront, if you have a storefront business. I'm just gonna say all of your stuff is taken care of. You're ready to do business. You're ready to bring in customers. So now let's look at how you're going to be able to utilize paid advertising, but maximize your return for dealing with, for bringing in customers, because it's not like it used to be in the past. Yes, some people want to see something and they're like, I want to buy it, but most people are not. That's why you got people going to stores, even at the mall, and they're just browsing. Like me and my wife were at the mall in Las Vegas this weekend, and we're just sitting there browsing. But then there was something that my wife wanted, and it was like $3,500. My wife spent $3,500 in Louis Vuitton store. $3,500, but she knew exactly what she wanted to get. So you'll get people that are ready to get what they're going to get, but most of the people in the store were just looking around, coming in and out. So you got to have a system in place to be able to maximize your advertising dollar and to be able to gain customers. You're not Louis Vuitton. You don't have millions and billions of dollars to be able to brand your product. You haven't been out there for 30, 40, 50 years where you have this following. You don't have all of that stuff. You're trying to start here day one, so to speak, or you're trying to get your business to the next level. So first thing you got to do is you pick your platform that you're going to run your ads on. So you pick your platform, and you need to pick a platform based off of what your the way that you want to be able to get your customers, the way that you want to be able to have your customers come in to see you. So certain platforms work better for certain businesses. To give you an example, if you have a tow truck business, it's not going to do you any good really to place your ad on Facebook. I'm just being straight up with you, and this is from results, like straight up testing that we've done. Now, you will go gangbusters and have plenty of business if you ran it on Google pay-per-call. You would have a gangbuster of business. If you have a storefront, it would be good to have your business listed on Google, and if you did online purchases, it would be good to have it listed on Google. But to actually run pay-per-click for your storefront, it would make it very difficult for you to be able to be successful, because let me tell you the reason why. Because every click that you have is going to cost you money, and every click that you have is going to be someone that's just looking, browsing. Most of them are just going to be browsing. Yeah, some people may come in, but then you're going to have to judge to see what I'm paying for the clicks with the competition, because it's an auction type deal. Is that really worth it for me? And to be able to just be paying per click every day, and how many people are actually coming in, and then of the people that are coming in, how many are actually buying, and then of the people that are buying, what are they buying? You might end up you might be losing money in the transaction. So you got to be very careful and make sure that you match up your business to the platform. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing you need to do is you need to make what I call winning ads. This is very important. Like, this is like, if you get this part down, the rest of the stuff is just like putting icing on the cake, because you'll be able to kind of take full control of your business, because you'll know how to say it, what to say, how to say it, to be able to get people to react and respond to what you're advertising for your business. Like, there's no better feeling than that. There's no better feeling than to be able to write an ad and then to have people respond to it. So now, some people will ask me, they'll be like, well, Steve, how do I know I have a winning ad? Because they'll see, like, they'll run an ad on Facebook, and they'll be like, I had like 1,000 views. And I was like, well, 1,000 views is not a winning ad. So they say, well, I had 10,000 views. And I said, well, 10,000 views is not a winning ad. A winning ad is an ad that has an objective, that where you will be able to know that that ad is working for you. And so what we tell people to do, depending on what business you have, so we'll just pick a storefront for this one. If you have a storefront business, you're going to want the views, and then you're going to want the clicks, and you're going to judge it by the visits. So you might be saying, well, Steve, how do I know that people are seeing that ad and then they're coming to visit the store. The reason why you know that they're coming to visit the store from that ad is because you were intentional about what you were offering in that ad. So when people came in, even if they didn't buy, you're gonna know that, hey, this ad is working because we have store visits. And then the next thing you wanna do is you wanna see from those visits how many sales did we make for that particular offer or group of offers that was in here. How many sales did we make? So you have how many visits did we have? And you don't always know exactly how many visits, but one way that my wife gauges it is she looks at how much traffic came into the store, and then she will look at the percentage of sales on the volume that came in from the store, and she'll look at the percentage of new customers or returning customers, and what did those new customers or returning customers buy, which equal the sales. And then she would look at the cost of the ad. So how much did the ad cost, and then how much revenue came in. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that my wife has this down pat. She spends roughly, I believe, on a weekly basis, she spends on an ad, I would say from $35 to $75. It may not even be that, the 75, but from $35 to $75, depending on what type of sales she has. And over a 3-day period, she's made from those ads anywhere between $2,500 to $10,000 for 3 days. For 3 days on an ad. So the return of investment on the ad, $2,500 to $10,000 return on investment from getting people to come into the stores. Yes, it does take work. Yes, you got to have things in place. Some of the things that you got to have in place is, number one, you got to have a product in place. When it comes to a store has to be organized a certain way, because when people come into the store, if it's not organized a certain way, they're going to turn around and just leave right back out of there, because they're going to just think that nothing of value is in there. So there's certain things that you got to have in place, and that goes back to what I said earlier, is that, are you ready? Like what I said earlier right here. Do you have stuff in place to be able to take on those types of sales? Do you to even be ready to take on those types of sales? And so that's why it's very important. So I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you would like to get a consultation, you know, to just say, hey, Steve, this is what I'm going through with my business. You know, can you give me some advice? Maybe you can help me out on this. There's a link below here. We can have a 1-hour consultation, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get your business off the ground, or to be able to get your business to the next level, to be able to generate leads, to be able to generate more sales, to be able to have people come to your store. Whatever it is, trust me, I've been through it either with my businesses or with the numerous businesses that I've helped. And over the last 33 years, I've helped over 7,000 plus business. I'm serious, 7,000 businesses. You don't have to take my word on it. All you have to do is go to my website or download my app, Blue Book TV Guide, or Blue Book Weekly. Download that from the App Store, and you'll be able to just see all the businesses that I deal with on a weekly basis. Like for the last 33 years, you can go through all the old publications, and you can see that I have a lot of experience with doing this. If you need any assistance with your business, links are below here. I have a do-it-yourself program. I'm going to be putting together a live class pretty soon. I'm going to even be putting together a virtual class and also a live class here at the office. Thank you for your time. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams.